Hi, I'm Mike Maloney, and welcome to another CSRM podcast. Today's episode is hosted by Dr. Greg Linville.
Welcome back. We are so privileged. If you've been with us the past two segments of the CSRM podcast, you know how privileged we are to have our very dear friend, Pastor Bihm Biswa of the Syracuse Nepali Church, and that is in Syracuse, New York. Go back, watch the last couple segments. You'll hear about how God reached out in a refugee camp, rescued this man's soul and many others, and he has now been brought to America and is doing a great work for the gospel there. And so you'll hear that. You'll hear on the last segment about how he had a vision for a mini World Cup of soccer with teams that were representatives of different countries, from Bhutan, and I think you said maybe Iraq. I can't remember all of the different groups, but then they all had a connection. They were connected to a local congregation. And you were starting to talk about how you did this, and it was a day. Give us kind of a schedule. Give us kind of if somebody wanted to organize their own mini World Cup of soccer, how would they do that? What did you do? What were the specifics?
Okay. Yeah. Many people are looking opportunity to opportunity and platform where they can involve. It is not like a high level, but everybody love to play. Even the older people, they don't have opportunity to play. They used to play there, but there is no way now here. Maybe it is once we need to have a date and time. That's it, and the place doesn't has to be high level. Very simple, like public place, and there are different communities. Each city, there at least they will have their own community, or we go through the resettlement as agencies there, or we go through different churches. They know different people, and they want to have a relationship also, come together also. And this is sports, they were like that. For example, okay, we call for the Nepali team, they are like that. But through the sports or soccer, okay, we are going to have a soccer tournament, they will come like this, started playing, practicing, talking.
Yes.
This beautiful thing. And once we organize, very simple, you don't have to be a big reward also. Very simple reward we can give them, give a very simple thing. But the beautiful thing is they love to come together, and they want to play, and they want to have interact. And obviously once in different ways, going through refugee agencies or different community leaders, meeting them, they will be happily joining the team. And there we find the different teams. So that's how I do. Here we have different community leaders here. So if I just say we are going to have a tournament, winter league or a tournament one day, and I call each like a Somali, like a Burmese, like a Chen, like here at now new group are here, like especially Afghan people. Oh, they love soccer.
Yes.
They are the best soccer player there, because they play more like a European team.
Okay.
Very nice. They'll come like that. I already did last time here a couple tournament, small, very small, but they love, they enjoy, they really listen the gospel, and they thank God and thank. Anyway, so now next, what I was thinking is This winter there is no outer activities.
Right.
So thank God we have built a small. It is just a basement. We can, if we can touch with our hand. The ceiling is very low, not too high, But what I was thinking is, last in pandemic in 2020, 21, I was thinking that I want to have, anyway kids are playing on the black top down in the basement, playing the soccer. So I was thinking I want to have a small indoor, make with the plywood wall, and just make simple. But God has provided. We got a good beautiful indoor soccer field. We got a special net, a special goalie, special wall made, designed for that, like a special wall and the carpet, like look like a ground grass. uh, so God provides always.
So those that will be watching this podcast, we will actually show some pictures of what you have just described. They will come up on the screen. And these pictures that you're seeing, if you're watching it right now, the building, as best I could tell, might have been some sort of a retail shopping building of some sort. And there were a couple of floors above, which is where you do your traditional worship. We always say we worship on the soccer field as well, but the traditional worship using music and prayers and liturgies like that, and other like courses and classes that you would teach, or fellowship groups, Bible studies. And then this more basement, the lower level, was a car park, a
Yes.
parking garage.
Mhm.
And is not all that tall, and yet you have fit into there this indoor soccer field, if you will. And again, the pictures will be up there. But the soccer field itself, what would it be? Would it be 5v5 or 7v7? How many play at a time?
Yeah, we play 4-4,
And does
three
that
to three or
include
4-4. Yeah,
the goalkeeper?
yeah, including
So
goalkeeper.
three
4-4.
three outfielders, so to
Yeah.
speak, and one. So these are 8 total.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and so you have to rotate through to get more than 8 people at a time playing there, right? I would
Yes,
imagine
yeah.
the young
Yeah,
people
yeah,
coming, they want on that pitch. They want to get out there and kick the ball, right?
yeah. They are pretty much tired of playing 5 minutes. They will be like
Oh,
sweating and oh, so it is very very tough. And we make our own rule there. So
okay.
if they hit the ball, hit the ceiling, is out. It ball hit the net, it is out. The wall is okay. Wall is just like 4 feet. So we make, and they cannot shoot from one goalie to another goalie to score the goal, but there is a, before the goalie there is a line so they should pass, and from the line inside only they can score the goal. That means they just a very, but we have done so many tournament, like so many tournament. In the first I did Syracuse Police,
Okay.
US Army, Nepali, and White Church. 4 different group. In the beginning we played, and I could able to share the gospel to the police people and army people.
So now how did you do that? You transition us. You do the game, and then after the game, you ask them to sit and listen, or how do you?
Okay, that is always a tricky. We need to play here the role. So we don't want people to just coming or leaving, after leaving, not before or after. In the middle, we'll give some rest while everyone is there. So still they have to watch or play the game. So they will, okay, we'll take rest for 10 minutes or half an hour. Okay, provide the food like water or snacks or anything, whatever you can, while they're eating, and then they are sitting there. There's the right time where we can preach the gospel and talk.
So you do it at halftime, so to speak.
Halftime or maybe little after halftime,
Yep.
whatever we feel, we can stop anytime.
Yep. Well. And then if the people there, they come, they played their sport, they sat and heard this, how often, or what do you see in terms of how long does that take before they'll say to you, Pastor, I want to accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior?
This is truly is a sowing of seed.
Yes.
Yeah, church is as that's why I want to encourage many pastors,
Yes.
many missionaries, as much as possible to be involved. Only me alone cannot reach everyone.
Right.
Talk to them, build a relationship. As they involved now, they are connected and involved in the church. The church is the place where they can be discipled. We don't have separate. I wish I have. Um, for me, I'm struggling a little bit because one person, me alone, cannot do everything. I
Right.
have vision and I have plan, and I don't have a budget. Also, truly speaking, but what I have, I thank God.
That's right.
I have a God has provided me these facilities, and in the basement, I am trying to put a whole sports room there. I already put two ping pong table. I want to put other small sports thing. Soccer is there. Just using what we have. And in winter, there is nothing to do outside the kids and the neighborhood kids. We want to welcome them. They will be playing here. They will be doing. We can do different. We can create one after another, but we need to do. That's it. We need to have a volunteer. We need to have people to do something like that. Always we have opportunity to teach them, reach them, love them, care them, and protect them from the wrong people in the outside.
So
So
let's put this a little bit in context for people then, because um, in our CSRM process, we talk about two things that are very relevant to what you just said. The first one is that we call it two disconnects. The first disconnect, and this will be the disconnect between where people are at and the Church of Jesus. And the first disconnect is that they're out in the community, but they have nothing to do with the church. And the sport is the bridge that gets them over that first disconnect. You get them into the church. And while, yes, they may come to the church building, you're really inviting them into the church family. And then once they're there, how do we then transition them from the sport, from the soccer field or pitch into the sanctuary? And so that's what you're beginning to help us understand. And so that's the first thing, that this is helping people get over the two disconnects to getting into the body life of the church. The second thing that we talk about here is how long a time does it take to really reach the person? And what the research has found is that it takes 6 to 7 years for a truly non-churched, secularized thinking and non-believer, has nothing, no knowledge of Jesus, what have you. It often takes them many years. Now, youth, they might do it in a year, they might do it in 2, they might do it in 6 months. They're a little fresher in this. But for the adults, it takes 6 to 7 years, and it takes 5 to 6 relationships with other believers during that 6 to 7 years. And so what you're doing is asking them to come back week after week, and you're giving them the verbal message as well as the proclamation of how you do it. And then you're building that bridge over the second disconnect. And it just warms my heart, and I know that it does many people, to know that you are actively doing this. But you also are pointing out that we need other leaders. We need other people to come alongside of us. And how do you then pass on as a Barnabas to Paul's, or Paul to Timothy's? Who are your Timothys, and how do you incorporate them into what you do?
yeah, I have a couple Paul that always I ask the question and I ask help. Um, they give ideas. And I have Barnabas. I have my friend. He's a pastor too. He's a coach. He's been doing this for 5 6 years now. He's passionate about gospel. And then we have uh, through this through this location from us, we created PAL APSI. PAL, like a play and learn. PAL is friends also.
Right.
So we have a PAL FC football club. So we have around 20 kids every season. Uh, they are high school actually, from 9 to 12th grade. They will be playing like couple year. And Pastor Ryan coaches this. They are from different background, different country, so reaching these 20 kids. And we have already one group has been kind of like retired. I don't mean retired, but they are now college student. Well, now we have other 20 kids. They are high school. They are uh, every Sunday we have a practice or coaching done by Pastor Ryan, my friend. So now, always in the practice there is always prayer, word, prayer, and practice.
Yes.
So, and they know the rules also very clearly. Every kids they come here, they build a good character also. Their
Yes.
parents are surprised how good they are, and then friends are surprised how good they are. No bad word, no different things. So they are growing even in that part of their character building also. But more than anything, this 20 retired kids, they always come. Many started praying. They are Muslim background, they are Buddhist background, they are Hindu, there are few Christian. So this is really, really, as sir say, as already you mentioned, it is a long process. Yes, but the gospel or the seed has been already been sown. And I believe, I this is our prayer, that in when they started deciding themselves, because many culturally it is not a different culture in our culture is different, or many people from the east or west, they have different culture, like they really, really respect parents
Yes.
so many ways. So if their parents are Hindu, even though he understand, he cannot say yes, because respecting the parents. But slowly they will decide, once they started deciding, and then we encourage them to share to their parent also. We say that if you love your parent, okay, you want to believe, yes, you want to come to know, yeah, yes, but why not coming, giving your life to Jesus? I pray, but I don't give life to Jesus. Why? Because I respect parent. But what we say is, okay, if you really love your parent, do you want your parent to go to hell? But because you know that only Jesus is the way. If you love your parent, you need to come to know Christ and give your life to God, and you need to share your parent the good news, the gospel. And that always they are struggling and they are praying, and God always make a way. And that's many young people, they come to know Christ also.
How exciting this is. And uh, you are right there on the cutting edge of bringing those who are far from Jesus into his church. As our time winds down on this segment, we're going to do at least one more, and we're going to continue on this theme of how do we transfer them out of the sport into the other parts of the church. And here's some concluding words from yourself. And again, if you have not been with us on these if this is the first podcast, please go and get the last two, and you'll hear much more about how Pastor Biswa has been working with his people at the Syracuse Nepali Church and using sports rec and fitness to bring people into fellowship with the church and ultimately into relationship with Jesus. And we just want you to be aware that this is happening and how you can learn from their example. So again, Pastor Biswa, thank you for being with us during this time. We look forward to coming back and hearing more about this the next time.
The CSRM podcast is a production of CSRM and their production house, Overwhelming Victory. Dr. Craig Linville is the executive producer, and Scott Stedman is the associate producer and editor. To learn more about CSRM, visit csrm.org. For more information about Overwhelming Victory, visit overwhelmingvictory.org. The CSRM podcast is the flagship member of the podcast network Overwhelming Victory Radio. For more information on Overwhelming Victory Radio, or to listen to our partner podcasts, visit overwhelmingvictory.org/OV Radio. For CSRM Podcasts, I'm Mike Maloney. Have a blessed day.